Hey loves, how are you? I'm at the garden plot today in between the sprinkles of rain. I have scooted down here so that I could continue working on weeding this beast, right? Just let me show you a second. I'm going to show you my progress and then I'm going to share with you a few thoughts that I had today while pulling these weeds, right? So look at this. I have successfully weeded just about half of this plot. Da-da-da! And today, while I was plucking and pulling and heaving, and the hula hoe and I are becoming one, I can tell you that. I am learning the rhythms of the hula hoe. But in addition to that, I still need to pluck out some of these some of these bigger roots for these weeds, right? So today, as I was working and tending and doing all of this, I had thoughts related to self-care and the deeper practices of self-care that lead to reflection, inner growth, and expose our levels of self-awareness, right? And so as I'm weeding and I'm heaving on some of these roots run really deep, right? And there's rocks and there's all kinds of things in the ground that need to come up and need to come out. And that's part of the work of self-care, that deeper part of working on the soul and working on understanding our patterns, understanding our thoughts, understanding those internalized projections that come into our life from other people, from other sources, those things that we internalize and we receive and we store in the back of our brain, right? Whether they're true about us or not. And we're constantly bombarded with these from family, from faith community, from employers, from marketers, from spouses, from children, all over the place, right? And so as I'm weeding, I'm thinking about a couple of things. And the first is how often we avoid the work because it's hard work. We like the fun aspects of self-care. We like the spa. We like the back massage. We like the movies. We like baking. We like those things that make us feel good. We like those things that give us the instant gratification, that rejuvenate us. We like napping. We like taking time for rest. That's all part of self-care. But then there's this third layer of self-care, which is working on your soul, right? Which is the self-awareness part. We don't always like that because we have to address and deal with our shit and our stuff and the things that are present within us, the little pieces of the ego and the little pieces of our psyche and the little pieces of unresolved trauma and all the things that are there, right? And so as I'm digging, I'm realizing like, oh, my muscles are getting sore. This hurts, right? And this is my second day of weeding. And after the first day, I was sore. Like I needed to stretch. I needed to do some yoga. I needed to do some I even have a black and blue mark. Who the hell gets black and blue from using a hula hoe? I don't know if I pulled a muscle. Who the hell does this? I have no idea. I do, apparently. I bruise easily, right? So I have a black and blue on my arm from the hula hoe and from pulling things out. So it's hard work. It's not easy. And even today, there were some times where I just wanted to give up. I just wanted to say, fuck it, screw it. This is so hard to do. I'm tired. I've had enough, right? But I pressed in. I broke it down into smaller chunks at that point and just did 2 feet at a time rather than trying to be all cute and do like an entire row. So I broke it down into smaller chunks and made it more manageable. Same with those deeper levels of self-care, right? Like the journaling, the meditating, the sitting with our feelings, the processing, taking an honest reflection and look at our behaviors, our patterns, so that we can grow into deeper levels of emotional intelligence, compassion for others, and self-awareness. It's hard work because we often stuff the things that we don't want to deal with away. We stuff it, we lock it, we ignore it. But in doing that, like these weeds, it's still present. It's still looming under the surface. It's still manifesting in different ways in your life. It's still there. So take the time. The parallel here is take the time to do the work. It is well worth every ounce of effort, energy, and focus to come into deeper understanding of who you are, of why you operate the way you do, of why you respond the ways that you do, of why you act the way that you do, of what triggers you. Because all of these things, as you come into awareness of them, help you to evolve and grow into a better human being, right? You can learn to make changes. You can shift some behaviors. You can set up boundaries, that if you need to set up boundaries with people in your life to protect yourself and your physical self if that's needed, but your emotional self too. So just some of the things that were running through my mind while I was weeding today is, yes, the deeper work of self-care as it relates to those pieces of your soul is hard work. Yet it's worth sticking with it. It's worth the effort. It's worth the energy. It's worth the time. It's worth pushing through. How many times do we get so close to a breakthrough and we stop because we say it's too hard, I can't do this, or we stop because the memories are too painful or the experience was too so we stop ourselves from having a breakthrough that can lead to healing in our life, or that can open up space for us to release some of the emotions that we're holding and storing that are tied to different places in our body that are causing different ailments and different, right? Okay, so don't get me started now. I'm kind of going down a track here, but all of this to say, love, you are worth it. You are worth it. You matter. Your purpose matters. Your presence on this earth matters. What you are here to do on this earth with the time that you have matters. Stepping into these deeper places to grow in self-awareness matters, so that you can become the most full, whole, healed, evolved version of yourself that you can be. From that place, you live a more fulfilled life. From that place, you live a more compassionate life of being able to have compassion without judgment for other people. From that place, you are able to love yourself well, and then in turn, love others well. Just a few thoughts wanted to share with you today. Hope you're having a wonderful Memorial weekend.